So what else is involved in a purchasing system? We've talked about requisitions and POs and inventory management. There's other aspects to this. Who are you buying from, right? Vendor management, contract management, keeping track of your suppliers and making sure they have the contracts with you that allow you to buy from them is extremely important. How do you keep track of vendors, right? Most modern, well-made ERP solutions will have a vendor management component to it. Vendor, supplier, basically people you buy from. Vendor supplier management systems that help you keep track of who your vendors are, right? So in your systems, you'll have a vendor ID. You will have what contracts these vendors have and expiration dates for contracts. It will also have things like risk management. So from a purchasing standpoint, that means it keeps track of your vendors' certificates of insurances, bonds, and other stuff that you require your vendors to have to do business with your organization. So how do you keep track of all of this, right? You need, I said contracts. There's a whole other contracts management module that you might need. We'll talk about that later. But really, when you buy something from a vendor, especially, you are a government agency, you can't just buy things from anybody. Depends on the thresholds, depends on what contracts you have, depends on the RFP process. Let's just say it's a Vero that you're buying from, and you went through an RFP and you brought us into your organization as a consultant. What we need to do is make sure that we have signed up, if you have a vendor supplier portal, that we sign up for it, that we enter all of our information in, how we want to get paid, right? Payment method. All of that needs to be in your vendor record. Now, if you are doing this on paper and pencil, you probably have a large book with vendors listed and all of this information that you probably have one or two people on your staff that do nothing but vendor management. In a modern ERP system, vendor management is done by giving vendors the opportunity to manage their own record. Now, of course, you're not going to give them a user within your ERP system, but there are vendor portals that allow you to outsource that job, that work back to the vendor. Not 100%, but you know what I mean, right? So if a Vero is the vendor to X county and they have a vendor portal, what happens as soon as the contract is signed, I will get an email or a notification saying, hey, please create your profile on the vendor portal and enter all of that information that we are asking for, right? And the more sophisticated, well put together vendor portals also allow me to send invoices electronically. So I don't have to mail them, I don't have to email them for them to get lost. And again, depending on how sophisticated this is, and this is all, by the way, when I say sophisticated, it's not a moonshot. These things exist. A lot of clients use them. You just need to set them up and have the right modules and components in place. So when I send an invoice, you can set up an automated process where the invoice goes directly into your accounts payables module. Of course, it's not approved because then you will trigger your approvals process within your AP modules to get my invoices paid. I can track my invoices on a vendor portal. I can upload my own COIs. I can change my payment methods. I can do all of that as a vendor by myself without having to call you or email you and tie up time for your staff. So vendor portals, vendor management is really critical in a modern ERP solution. The next critical aspect of a good purchasing solution is spend analysis. When you do annual budgeting, when you are reporting, what you're spending to your commission, to your council, to your board, spend analysis is critical. Who are you buying from? What are the trends? Cost, averages, trend analysis. All of this is critical. So a good purchasing solution will also have a great analytics platform tied into it, right? And when you're talking about government ERP solutions, purchasing is a critical key element of any financial system or any ERP system. So when you do your analysis on which product to buy, make sure it has good, robust business intelligence and spend analytics, so you know what the trends are, what the future holds, and historical information that I'm sure your legislative body asks for on a regular basis. So spend analysis, also a critical element of a good purchasing solution.